It's been a long time coming. I did a poll for 3 games to see which will win, and ultimately DK64 came out on top. It's not to say that we don't want to see the other 2 in the future though. Donkey Kong 64 is loved and hated. It's a great exploration game that really keeps with the Donkey Kong Country series by really just enveloping you into its world. That is the love of this game. The hate comes from the fact that everything is a collectible. It's also known for the DK rap. It really is iconic. Among these things, it has a few extras to it, like the Donkey Kong arcade is playable, and so is the game Jetpack. I enjoyed the game from when I first rented it years ago. After all those years of playing the game off and on, it is now time for me to get to trying to master this game. Right off the bat, we have to listen to the DK rap. I'm not complaining though. I love the rap. It is very iconic and catchy. At the end of the video, we get an achievement for watching it all the way through. After that, I need to go over a little something here. There are a ton of achievements in this game. Most are related to progression or collecting everything. So what I'm going to do is go over missables and other achievements I have found challenging. This brings me to the minecart and jungle japes with Diddy Kong. You need to have at least 72 coins collected by the end of the run. I failed once and retried just to get hit. However, I decided to push through and happened to get this fairly easily. This gets me the Crim Cart Caper achievement. Although it wasn't tough for me, I still should include these. The bosses all have to be defeated without taking damage. The first of which is Armadillo and Jungle Japes. Armadillo is pretty easy to dodge and takes 3 hits before victory. It is pretty easy to dodge him. He'll shoot twice each time and just moving left and right will avoid that. After a hit, he'll roll up and come after you. Repeat the process and you'll get the Unfit for Service achievement. The next big challenge is the Beetle Race in Angry Aztec. I'm sure many remember this as a painful experience. I myself had so many problems with her. However, being her isn't the only problem. You need to have at least 60 coins upon completing the race. Yeah, that's an issue. At least I thought it was. Originally I just speed past her at the start, but I don't want to take a hit. So I took a recommendation from others on the RetroAchievements site. I trailed behind her collecting all the coins I can. Then at the last slope, I jump to maintain speed. When she is approaching, attack her to stun her, then get to the finish line for the achievement, Beetle Blaster. There's a missable in here that I'd like to go over. Stealthy Snoop in Angry Aztec. You play as Donkey Kong and need to get past the Kremlings without being spotted as fast as you can. You'll need at least 20 seconds to spare to get the achievement. You can complete this with a ton of time to spare. I mean, just look at the raw footage of this. It's much easier to watch it than have me explain what to do. Upon completion, I get the Stealthy Sprint achievement. This brings up the next boss to do damageless, Dogadon, a giant dragonfly. He can be very intimidating, and at first I thought it may be more of a challenge. Just like Armadillo though, he uses pseudo-homing to target you, which means you can just move around and not be hit. After so many fireballs being thrown, you can go up to him, grab the TNT barrel, and throw it at him. You'll repeat this process until he is defeated. With each hit he takes, the phases become longer. With him out of the way, I get the achievement. After all of that, I managed to get 25 achievements. A lot of progression and completion achievements. The next day, I get to do more of the same. After doing some more collecting, I need to collect a banana coin on top of the Angry Aztec entrance. The problem is, I have to do that before Diddy Kong's barrel appears. This means it is time to stack the rocks with Chunky and jump up top. The next achievement had me play the floor is lava at the start of the game. I had difficulty trying this at the start of the game, so I waited until I got tiny. This made it much easier to complete. It did take some time, but nothing that got me agitated. This takes us to the Fly Swatter minigame in the Angry Aztec lobby. I have to beat the game with 30 seconds to spare, and it can be a bit of a pain. That damn fly always laughing at me. However, you can get the fly into a pattern, so it's only a matter of time before you get it. Now it's the Donkey Kong arcade. It's a nice little break from all the collecting, so it's nice to see that there is an achievement for this. Sure, you have to beat it normally for the golden banana. Then you have to beat it a second time to get the Nintendo coin. The problem is, you have to play it a third time to have a chance at the high score of 30,000. It's actually not too bad. In the first area, grab both hammers, and then make your way to the top. 10,000 points gets you an extra life. Try to keep that for the fourth area. In the second area, you'll want to grab as many of the points as you can on your way up to Donkey Kong. In the third area, you'll want to avoid the points all the way to the right and just go for speed. Finally, when making it to the fourth area, you should have a spare life. Grab the points in both hammers, defeat the enemies, and if you don't have enough points, you can reset this level by getting hit on purpose. Another fun challenge is with Tiny in her slot car race. The challenge essentially is to not get hit so you don't lose the coins you collect. Win the race and have 16 coins to get the achievement. I didn't have any good strategies to go up against him, just patience. You can shoot the car if he is in front of you too, so use that to your advantage. Another interesting achievement is the production room run with Chunky. He is a pretty slow Kong and I failed quite a few times before discovering a shortcut. After you get up the elevator, you can jump straight across and climb the ladder. After that, it is all about making it to the platform in time and hoping it all lines up pretty well. Other than that, there isn't a lot to say about it. The first portion of this stream was to take care of Mad Jack and to do that without taking damage. Mad Jack isn't really a big challenge. He goes around the arena by jumping from platform to platform. If he lands on blue, you'll have to hit a blue switch, and if he lands on white, you'll have to hit a white switch. After each hit, he becomes more difficult to avoid. I personally don't have a difficult time with that, but he also turns invisible and throws projectiles. Eventually, he'll fire a laser at a platform. So if you don't think you're going to make it, just fall to avoid it and get a retry at it without losing progress. It's time to talk about the Jetpack Challenge. To get this achievement, you'll need to get 15,000 points. It's actually pretty easy. The most effective way to do this is to make it to a level you're comfortable with and defeat enemies while picking up the extra items that appear. The next challenge for me was being Searchlight Seek with 45 seconds or more remaining. One wouldn't think it would be that difficult of a challenge, but it is rather difficult to defeat the number required in a short time. You'll have to get a pattern down and know where the co-op traps are going to go. Eventually, I was able to get this down after 10 or more tries. I say it gave a decent challenge, which is what I like to look for in achievements as well. This achievement boasted a good challenge. I usually skip the gates, but I couldn't this time. I also have to beat the seal with 15 or more coins. The challenge seemed fair enough until the damn seal kept body blocking me. There were many times he would guide me into a place I didn't want to go because he was in the way. Really frustrating, especially when you need to get through every gate. There isn't much to say to help in this race. The coins are laid out well and you get plenty of time to react to gates, so it all just comes down to getting used to the race. Now that Gloomy Galleon is complete, that leaves the boss of the level, and with a boss comes the no damage achievement. Now, Puff Toss isn't too big of an issue normally, but there are obstacles to avoid. You have to get through numerous rings that get smaller with each phase. With each phase, it also becomes more difficult not to take damage. Puff Toss will send shockwaves, shoot fireballs, and send down a rain of meteors. In the final phase, he even has a homing torpedo go after you. So, yeah, this fight is a huge pain. I have a strat though. So, get behind a pillar and far enough away from him to not get hurt by a shockwave. Make sure the ring to go through is in sight. After he shoots twice, you should be free to go. Do this until the phase he calls down meteors. He will no longer be using shockwaves on you. In this phase, it's all about moving and spotting any shadows in front of you. If there aren't any, then you should be fine to continue as is. At that point, I pretty much just yellowed the section for the win and the achievements. Before ending stream, I wanted to try an idea to get the ferry on top of Croc Isle. Jump in the jetpack and get on over to the aisle at the top to get the... Okay, that didn't work. I think there has to be another way, right? So I found out I had the right idea, but approached the aisle in the wrong way. What you want to do is use the jetpack, but come from the side of Croc Isle. You want to angle it in a way you're coming up to the elbow. Make sure you're as high as possible so when it gets cancelled out, you land on the edge. Now all I had to do was take a picture of the fairy. Easy enough. That was all for the day, so next up will be Fungi Forest. Making my way to the forest since I'm not sure what the correct pronunciation is. Fungi? Fungi? I've always pronounced it fungi. Anyway, I need to go out of my way for a moment to pick up a hidden multicolored coin. It comes to no surprise that it took 20 years for the gaming community to find this hidden coin, right in between the tag barrel and a mushroom. The next thing I decided to tackle was a minecart ride with Chunky. I need to finish with at least 60 coins or more. This took a little while. The course isn't all that hard, but it is a little difficult to see. With some memorizing on what to do and where to go, I was able to get this. You'll want to flip the switch at the start so you can grab those extra coins on the right. To avoid rocks, you'll either have to slow down or lean left or right, opposite of where they are to avoid them. For kremlings that are attacking you, you can jump. Near the end there will be 3 paths. Hit the switch on the left and go there. Avoid what you can, and you should be able to get the amount required to get the achievement. The next big challenge was getting Diddy's golden banana in the barn. It is completely dark, and normally you'll just activate a light by playing Diddy's instrument. That's a no-go. At first, I figured I can do this completely in the dark, so I tried jumping in areas I figure the platforms are. When that didn't work, I started to think of what can produce light, one of them being the guns that Diddy has. So using his peanut guns, you can produce a small bit of light and make traveling easier. The downside is that it uses a lot of ammo, so you still have to be cautious when using them. The other thing that produces light is using your charged attack. I don't recommend using it though. While it does produce light, it is momentary and you can't really advance while using it, so the peanut guns it is. After a long while, I was able to finally make it to that banana. This level has a mini-boss aside from the boss you must face as well. It is a giant spider.
There's a big gross bug in there! Go squish it!
That's why I'm here, son. Dang, gonna need the big boot.
Joking aside, the boss fight isn't that difficult. Make sure you have crystals to speed this up. Otherwise, the spiders take 2 hits to defeat. With the crystals, you can use the area of effect to defeat them all in one go. Then all you have to do is shoot the giant spider's eyes. Well, sort of. He then becomes a small spider. Power up your attack one last time and knock him out to get the achievement. There is another achievement you can get here, but you can also do this in Creepy Castle. You'll have to hold Z on this minigame from the text all the way through to the completion of the game. The only thing I can say is, best of luck. The tips are that the carts will always change paths when they're at a crossing, so you can predict that way. I didn't. I had to somewhat memorize where I was going to go so I had a chance at it. So you can take a look at the footage to see the route I used here. That just leaves the boss of the level, Dogadon. This time Chunky is involved. Like the first time, he will shoot fireballs at you that you must avoid, and you need to throw a TNT barrel at him to do damage. The second time you go to hit him, he will do a slam that can hurt you if you're not fast enough. That, or you can just jump over it. The third time he will breathe a wall of fire. At this point, just run over to the edge and fall. Chunky will grab it no matter what speed you're going at since he's a slow one. After it passes, climb up, grab the barrel, and throw it at him. The final phase, you get to avoid all the fireballs and then grab the TNT to throw it at him. However, after that a chunky barrel appears. Jump in it and give him a series of punches. Right when you get out, do a heavy punch, then a series of mini punches until you go back to being small. Keep in mind not to stay on the spawn point for the TNT barrel, or the chunky barrel will not spawn while you're on it. So throw the TNT barrel and get out of the way so you don't waste precious time. Before long, Dogadon goes down and I get the achievements. There is a lot of exploration in the Crystal Caves. Going over the more difficult portions of the area, I come across Donkey Kong's igloo. It is here that I can't take damage and need to make it through the maze all the way to a golden banana. So there are a few things about this. Pausing really doesn't help. Also, when it says no damage, it doesn't just mean the wall of the maze. It's also enemies or damage from an orange grenade. So you can't partially cheese this by having invincibility frames. You could probably moon jump if you know how to, but I don't. So I do things the old-fashioned way. Believe it or not, going fast is probably the best way to do this. There are key points to where you immediately change your direction to avoid damage. Most of it is flicking towards down after certain points. After you get past the 2 key points, you're pretty much home free. Still though, it's something that made me hold my breath. The Armadillo returns as a boss in this level. It starts off the same. He fires at you, you dodge, and attack with a TNT barrel. After the first hit, he will slam down on the ground creating shockwaves that can hurt you. Make sure to stand back a decent length from the TNT barrel, and when it blows up, do your high jump. In the next rounds, there will be more shockwaves and even a homing missile that you'll have to avoid. I just barely maneuvered away from it. You can bet I was holding my breath there. Anyway, I grab the barrel, throw it at him, and get the achievement. As a reminder, you don't want to defeat the Kosha that is causing stalactites to fall at any point from when you enter Crystal Caves. Getting through it and collecting 100% before doing so nets me the "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head" achievement. Also to note, you need to make sure that the blueprints are submitted to Snide for this achievement to pop. There are a few achievements in Creepy Castle outside of collecting the progressive achievements. One that stands out is the minecart ride with Donkey Kong. In here, you need to have at least 50 coins by the time you finish the ride. The ride is a little bit of a pain. Over time you get a pattern down and it isn't too bad. I only just barely managed to get through this with 51 coins collected. I made mistakes, so the achievement is pretty lenient and I'm satisfied with that. Now I know I said I wasn't going to really dive into anything else rather than the missable achievements and the challenges, but this must be said. I still strongly dislike Beaver Bother. My dislike grows for every time I come across the minigame, and in Creepy Castle you have to essentially play the same version of Beaver Bother twice. I mean, look at this. They just won't go in the hole. They walk right on the edge.
Son of a bitch, Ball, why didn't you just go home? That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me! Suck my white ass, Ball!
Really, they don't want to go home. Anyway, I found somewhat of a solution. When they spawn, they seem to be easier to get in the hole. So you can use that to your advantage. Also, jumping twice in any direction isn't enough. 3 times seems to be the magic number. If they don't go in the hole after 3 chomps, then they are likely stuck. So just leave them be and go for another beaver to bother. Now I can talk about the K Rool cutout boss. It really isn't all that hard to fight him. The biggest obstacle are the pufferfish in the water and the lasers being shot at you. So, look at that! How did I get hit when it passed by me? After a while I figured I should stay in the water for a moment before jumping onto land. Pufferfish can't hurt you if you're not in the water, so if you need to, jump and use the attack so you don't get hit. With those counters out of the way, all you need to do is time yourself into the cannon to attack the cutout. An easy way to do this is to try and position the camera to where you can look at the other areas. The final hit, he has 2 cutouts. I got lucky with it, honestly. I instinctively jumped in the cannon without thinking, and that got me the achievement. There were a few achievements I wanted to try before I got to finishing the day. I have to go to Snides and access the minigames there. The first one being slots. Now, slots isn't too hard. Just have to remember the order before a banana shows up. The order I did was coconut, pineapple, grape, pineapple. If you get it all on your first try, you'll have 3 seconds left and have it completed. Crazy Kong Clamor is actually pretty close to impossible without some kind of assistance. There are things you can do to try and make it easier. It doesn't help that to do this the way that it is intended relies on luck. The achievement being named Luck Be a Lady tells you all that you need to know. They intend for you to just sit at one location and shoot the banana when it appears, which is random. There's not much to do in this session. Thinking I will get to K Rool and maybe have a chance at finishing it, I get a little arrogant. The first thing that I want to do is enter the test area. It's a secret area within Snides HQ after having collected all the blueprints. To access it, you have to go to the minigames area by pushing C up and then pushing A and B at the same time. Once in the area, you can explore for a bit, but if you want that achievement, you have to pop the banana balloon. After disabling K Rool's machine, there is a battle arena to fight in. This one is specifically for Dede. Rocket barrel up to the top and enter the arena. Note that you can do this during the whole countdown, but I elected to not waste time with the machine. The arena can be a bit of a hassle. You have one regular Kremling and two Krushes. Near the end of it, a third Krusha appears. The problem with the Krushas are the area of effect attacks that they have. The best way I can come up with getting this done is to keep going in a circle. I did this clockwise. Also, if you get hit, make sure it's in the center of the arena. You can't defeat enemies, and unfortunately jumping on top of them also defeats them. If you don't think you're going to have enough airtime, make sure to push B. As long as you're away from the single Kremling, it shouldn't be too hard to get this achievement. Also, to note, if you get defeated, you just get your health refilled and can re-enter the arena. At this point, everything has been collected, including the rare banana. Now it just leaves K Rool. I honestly thought that this would be a bit easier given my experience with the game and having done it before, I believe. There are a few issues though. Dede's fight needs to be learned. You need to know how to manipulate where the glove is going to be at. Linky, you need to know how to avoid K Rool walking into you and knowing when is a good point to play your instrument. Tiny feels luck-based because of there not being really any lag. You have little reaction time to dodge the toes. Then finally Chunky. There's not a lot to say about it. You just have to know when to punch as K Rool approaches. With all that said, I got way too tired and had to take a break. What did you say? Ugh, you know what? I'll get this jerk next time. There are 5 rounds to this fight with K Rool, switching between each Kong. Starting with Donkey Kong, which is pretty easy. You'll just have to jump into each barrel, and every time you hit K Rool, he changes up when he can be hit. The order is as follows: 4, 5, 3, and 7, referring to how many times he jabs. Diddy took me a little while to figure out. At the start, you'll want to stand at the big star opposite of K Rool. Then, when he is about to throw his glove, do a high jump. Do this twice. When the barrel appears, just go to it and jump in it. The boomerang effect that the glove does is manipulated in a way to where it goes around you, taking up these positions. For the flying portion of this, the glove is the same. It will lock it in a position to where you are at, so you can manipulate this by moving when he is ready to throw his glove. If you move fast enough, but not too fast, it works out perfectly. Now just shoot those targets. For Lanky, wait in the corner you start in until he passes you by, then quickly move to the right to hit the switch when it appears. Grab the barrel and throw it in the center. Time the instrument and he'll run over the banana to slip and fall. You'll need to do this a total of 4 times, each getting quicker than the last. There are 2 ways to dodge K Rool. The corners he can't hit you at, and as he's approaching you from one side to the other, it is much easier to go towards the center of the ring rather than trying to outrun him. The first portion of Tiny's fight is easy enough. Just jump and hover above the shockwaves. Once a barrel appears, get in there to go small and then enter K Rool's shoe. This is where the fun begins. The safe spots every time you enter the shoe are as follows: 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. After the first hit, for every toe, the combination will be 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. After the second hit, the combination will be 2, 3, 2, 2, 1, and after the third hit, the combination is 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. Sometimes the toast will pause to try and throw you off, but it will always be the combination that you're always on. With that out of the way, it just leaves Chunky. For Chunky, you need to hit a switch in the center of the arena. Wait for K Rool to bounce between the center twice, then hit it so you don't get hit after coming out of the cutscene. Go to one of the pads to turn invisible and jump in the barrel in the center. The timing of the first punch is when he steps on the floor at about the second eye. The second punch is the same timing. The third punch should be thrown when he makes it to the first eye. Finally, the fourth punch should be thrown when he makes it to the left big star. You have no idea how frustrating this was. For me, it was the most frustrating achievement of the set, comparative to F-Zero GX. Just that it was one achievement compared to many. I wish that was everything, and I could say just let the credits roll, but it wasn't. I had the arenas to do in the extras menu. For On Guard, it's pretty easy and only took a few tries. Just get used to the control and go around the arena. You'll get the 200 points easy. Rambi, on the other hand, it took me a good hour or so to get. The best tips to give are to restart until you get a good 3 to 4 hit combo of beavers at the start. You need this in combination with a yellow beaver. After that, you'll want to try your best to get 2 to 3 hit combos on beavers until the yellow beaver shows up again. Then do the same thing. I just barely got it with this, and I hear that it was lowered from 200. No idea how someone got over 300 on here. Makes me think the person used a glitch or some kind of exploit, as leaderboards usually are. There aren't really any questionable achievements. I can sum it up with a few achievements. The slots and snides I feel is just not really fun at all and shouldn't be there due to it just being silly. It relies on luck, and to me that isn't much of an achievement in a game that wasn't designed around that. While K Rool was a pain, I enjoyed the challenge, although it was frustrating at times. It felt like I was building my gaming muscles and getting better with each attempt, which I was, so it made me feel satisfied. The arenas are a nice touch. Even though Rambi felt a little like luck, there was skill involved too. You can form a strategy to get the score you need for it. The only ones I really left out was the collection of the coins. I think it was nice to find out all of the coins, and them being their own achievements per level was a good decision to make. If you're missing some, there are guides online that will easily break it down for you, so you can quickly get the coins you're missing. Overall, even though there was one achievement that was severely questionable, the rest were pretty on point. I had so much fun revisiting Donkey Kong 64 and getting this master. If you enjoyed this video, please share, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I stream all of my retro achievements on Twitch, so follow me if you'd like to see that. Have a game to recommend me to master? Let me know in the comments below.